our children. We want what's best for them. We want them to succeed and to be as healthy as they possibly can. The home, the school, the community. All are critical in ensuring happy, healthy children.
As parents, we're a guardian of our children, and we teach them right from wrong. We teach them how to take care of themselves, how to cross the street properly, and we need to teach them how to eat properly too.
Nutrition isn't the only issue parents have to deal with, but it could be one of the most important, especially now as we're seeing rates of childhood obesity reach alarming proportions. The National Center for Health Statistics reports that 15% of school-aged children are overweight, 2 to 3 times the rate from 30 years ago. Obesity is linked with heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, the biggest killers today. We're now beginning to see the health effects of overweight and obesity in children.
1/4 of children ages 5 to 10 years show early warning signs for heart disease.
Before 1990, we hardly seen any cases of diabetes type 2 among children in the pediatric populations, but from 1990 to 1996, there was an increase about 16% of cases reported, and within the last 5 or 6 years it has increased to 8 to 45% depending on the ethnic group. So definitely there is a very close relationship between a poor diet, lack of exercise, becoming overweight and obese, and then developing diabetes type 2.
Doctors predict an epidemic of diabetes because of the exploding rates of obesity.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention predict 1 in 3 children born in the year 2000 will develop diabetes because of overweight.
The effects of childhood obesity are more than physical. A recent report in a major medical journal indicates that severely obese children rate their quality of life comparable to that of children with cancer in chemotherapy.
As a healthcare provider, the increase or the epidemic of obesity in children and adolescents, from what we see is the increase in the comorbidities or the medical problems associated with that. But there's also a big psychological factor with regards to obesity in the children and adolescents too, with regards to just interactive with other children, interactive at home, I think self-esteem, depression, and that affects grades and eventually getting a job and going out to the workforce.
The consequences of these health problems related to obesity are severe and can affect the rest of a child's life.
Because of changing lifestyles, it's been said that today's children's lives may be shorter than their parents'.
Our habits and lives are shaped by our homes, schools, and communities, and that's where the problem of childhood obesity can be addressed. Patterns of diet and exercise have been changing. We're more sedentary. We watch TV, sit at the computer for hours, and drive everywhere we want to go. Children aren't as active as they used to be, staying indoors for safety or to play computer or video games.
Fewer than 1 in 4 children report getting 30 minutes of physical activity a day.
Our eating habits are also changing. In the past, fast food, snacks, and sodas were eaten only once in a while under special circumstances.
When we were kids, soda was a treat. Soda was brought out like birthday parties where you had a blowout, ice cream, cake, and soda.
I remember that it was such a treat to have birthday cake and dessert sometimes, because we never really got a lot of sweets to eat, and you really savored that.
But now, we eat these foods every day, when we're at home and when we're out. The result? Many children aren't meeting dietary recommendations.
Only 2% of youth meet the recommendations of the food guide pyramid.
Changes have happened at school, too. Several years ago, federal legislation was passed requiring schools to plan meals that meet the dietary guidelines. If a child eats one meal a day at school, that's 16% of the child's meals over a year. However, with all of the extra choices available to kids at school, they may not always choose the healthy school lunch.
When I was in school, when you bought lunch with your lunch ticket, they gave you the vegetable, the starch, the protein. You had no choice. You either ate what was there or you were hungry. In theory, it should be better now because of the variety of choices. But kids don't always make the best choices.
You can get chips, cookies,
French fries, the ice cream,
donuts and taste cakes and
Twinkies,
milkshakes and slushies,
barbecue chips.
My one friend, she has Pepsi every single day for lunch.
One study found that 98% of senior high schools have either a vending machine or snack bar where students can purchase food and beverages. Many children now choose snack foods and sodas instead of the traditional school lunch.
From my perspective, that's my number one concern, is that we try very, very hard to give them a balanced diet, some good nutritional options and choices, and so often all the fundraisers are candy or junk food, and I understand there's a need for extra money in the different departments within the school district, but so often students are just inundated with this kind of choice.
I'm concerned about students getting mixed messages about nutrition from seeing vending machines in their cafeterias. There are many school districts signing soda contracts, and these students see this as one of their only options for a beverage at mealtimes.
Candy, snacks, and sodas can be found everywhere. It's tough to make the right choice. Our communities are different today as well. They aren't walkable or exercise-friendly. They're designed for cars, not for people. Messages we receive in the community may also make good nutrition and fitness difficult. Restaurants and media encourage us to eat more than we should of the wrong kinds of food. The children are bombarded by this food advertising, much of it for the very high-fat, high-sugar foods that contribute to obesity.
I think that marketing to children crosses an ethical line. Here you're dealing with a population of people who don't have the critical ability, don't have the experience, and don't have the cynical know-how to be able to see an advertisement for what it is and be able to see manipulation for what it is. These kids are lifetime consumers. They're going to learn your brand name and stick with it for the rest of their lives. So the object of the game, if you're a marketer, is to get a school kid to say, I want that brand and I want my family to buy it for me.
A person's brand loyalty may begin as early as age 2.
Massive advertising budgets are available for advertising candy, snack foods, and sodas to kids at a time when school budgets for nutrition education and physical activity are being cut. It's been said that for every $1 spent by the U.S. Department of Agriculture on child nutrition education, $10 is spent by companies promoting high-fat snacks, soft drinks, processed, and fast foods. Changes have occurred over time in all areas of our lives and lifestyles. The result is an epidemic of obesity that in a decade or so will create a massive health crisis. But there are solutions. Families across the country are realizing the importance of establishing habits for family meals and active play. Parents are supporting schools in efforts to establish health-friendly school environments. Parents and schools are working together, encouraging physical activity programs and nutrition education. Parents are getting involved in school health councils and parent-teacher organizations and supporting the school meals programs. Creative programs are starting to make fitness and good nutrition a priority in the school environment.
It's a collaborative effort, I believe, between parents and school to make sure that in the school setting we introduce through our health and PE classes the importance of proper eating and exercise and its impact on future body size and weight.
Parents are working with community leaders to create environments that make it easier to be fit and select nourishing foods. Bike and walking paths, bike-only traffic lanes, pedestrian-friendly streets, cut-through walking paths linking isolated neighborhoods to schools and shopping areas, farmers markets, and community-sponsored health events. Restaurants are offering smaller portions of nourishing foods on children's menus. And the result? We have a long way to go. But working together, families, schools, and communities can create safe, active, healthy environments for ourselves and our children.